I've played the video game Celeste many times since I got it in 2018, but playing it again made me realize something. Almost everyone in the world makes a big mistake in achieving success. So we all have visions of what success is in our minds. Different people have a vast range of what it means to make it in life, like money, fame, having a skill like playing an instrument, etc. But out of all the many different visions of success, they almost all have something in common. They usually involve the destination rather than the journey. For example, when we think of being famous as our vision of success, we picture the charm of fame, but we don't think about the journey it took to be famous and the journey that continues after becoming famous. We automatically subconsciously believe that life would be all good forever and we'd never have to work another day again. This obviously isn't the case. If you stop working as a famous person, people will stop caring about you, and if you never work to get there in the first place, you'll never be famous at all. This is what I mean when I say people forget the journey of success. We often don't realize that it's working towards something that makes us happy and not the destination. This realization is extremely important, but it's only really the first step towards life satisfaction. Once you realize you have to be productive to be satisfied, you then have to get yourself to being productive. This step is a massive point of difficulty for many. Lots of people have varying reasons why it's difficult for them to do something productive with their time. Laziness, burnout, depression, various addictions. These are all valid reasons to have a hard time getting up and doing something that makes us feel good about ourselves. This difficulty is the reason why I'm making this video. I've been having a hard time getting myself to work more on YouTube, even though I know I love it. Everyone has this problem at some point, where we have an idea for a hobby or passion, but don't follow through with it because there's some mental block preventing us from doing it. You'd think that since this is such a common feeling for so many, there would be some universal solution to solving it. But no, because it's hard. Sometimes the thing we want to do is so daunting that it's hard to get ourselves to continue, even if there's nothing standing in our way. This is where Celeste comes in. Celeste is able to tell an amazing and inspiring story of perseverance with excellent story writing, visuals, and characters. The game begins with you playing as a woman named Madeline. Madeline is very lost in life and is nearly defeated, and she's trapped in the prison of her head and has nobody to talk to about it. She wants to get her life in order and complete something difficult to feel accomplished. Immediately, Madeline is introduced as a relatable character. She wants to do something to feel accomplished, like many of us do. Madeline meets an old woman who warns her of the dangers within the mountain. But Madeline doesn't listen. She's too stubborn and she ignores what the old woman told her. She's determined to climb this mountain and will let nothing get in her way. Right away, the game feels optimistic. The first level is simple and beautiful, setting up the player for a great adventure. On top of that, the song is a perfect introduction to the soundtrack and game as a whole, contributing to the positive feeling of starting something new. Madeline meets someone sitting by a fire named Theo, a man traveling from Seattle. Seattle represent. Theo doesn't care so much about reaching the top, but he also feels lost in life. Madeline and Theo bond over this shared feeling throughout the game. Celeste covers many of the main aspects and emotions of getting over something and continuing to complete a difficult goal. The story pairs with the game perfectly, not being very dialogue heavy but also effective in showing the gameplay to tell the story along with the dialogue. Moving on, the second level feels more somber in comparison to the first level, like the beginning optimism has subsided. Within the mountain, a part of Madeline breaks free from a mirror, commonly known as Battlein. Celeste Mountain has a magical ability to manifest your problems into a physical form to make you confront them. And Battlein is Madeline's part of her telling herself she can't do it. She says she's not a mountain climber and shouldn't be doing this. Battlein begins to follow Madeline around, copying her every move. And if you touch Madeline, Madeline dies. We all have that part of us within us, telling us that we don't have the capability of doing what we want, always coming up with reasons to doubt ourselves. Madeline has to find a way to deal with that part of herself, just like we all do. But for now, she just runs away, trying to ignore her problems. She finds a payphone and calls someone, telling them she's in trouble. They speak coldly to Madeline, telling her she's making it all up for attention. Madeline realizes she's been dreaming the whole time, which is when Battlein appears and tells her to go home, and the payphone turns into a monster and eats her. She finds Theo and finds comfort talking to him. The level ends after Madeline goes back to the payphone and talks to her mom, who's there for her and comforts her. In level 3, Madeline stumbles across an almost abandoned hotel, with just one man named Oshiro, the hotel's concierge. Oshiro tries to get Madeline to stay in the hotel, but she just wants to pass through the hotel quickly. She notices the hotel's clutter and feels bad for Oshiro, so she decides to help him out and cleans up the hotel for him. Madeline sees Theo in the hotel as he's leaving and advises Madeline not to help out Oshiro, because he gives off bad vibes. After helping Oshiro out, he takes Madeline to the room he wants her to stay in, but Madeline still doesn't want to stay there. Madeline returns and tells Oshiro the hotel is a dump and leaves a massive hole in the hotel. Oshiro flips out and chases her her out of the hotel, nearly killing her in the process. My interpretation of this chapter is that it's okay to focus on your own needs. It's always okay to help other people, but some people get caught up on helping others before helping themselves and never make themselves happy. Madeline put herself aside to help Oshiro, but both ended up worse off in the end. Madeline moves on to Golden Ridge, where she meets up again with Theo at a gondola. The gondola stops suddenly, sending Madeline into a panic attack. Neither know if they're going to make it out alive. She deals with the panic attack by imagining holding up a feather with her breathing, and this gets her out of the panic attack. The gondola begins to move again, and they get back safely. They move on to the Magic Mirror Temple, which proves to be their biggest challenge yet. In the temple, Madeline and Theo get sucked into a mirror, causing them to be sucked into a world of their own mental horrors. The temple is able to magnify the abilities of the mountain, which is what led to the physical form of Madeline. This world created by Madeline and Theo's minds are littered with monsters, and Theo's trapped into a crystal. Giant eyes look at Theo, likely referring to his obsession with social media and wanting eyes on him all the time. Since he's unable to move, Madeline has to carry Theo out while avoiding the monsters charging at her. Eventually they make it out of the temple and sleep after having a talk at the campfire. When Madeline wakes up, there are beautiful northern lights in the sky, and she travels up to the sky to have a talk with Madeline. She mentions how beautiful the lights are, and Madeline agrees. Madeline tells Madeline that they have to talk, and Madeline says okay, a sign that Madeline may begin to be able to deal with this part of her. Madeline is finally in a state where she may be willing to change, but Madeline instead tries to separate her and Madeline, telling her that she's not abandoning her, but setting her free. Insulted, Madeline grabs Madeline and throws her all the way down to the bottom of the mountain. Madeline is completely defeated. Everything she had just done had become meaningless. She found the old lady again, and told her that she was ready to give up. But after some talking, the old lady told Madeline to talk it out with Madeline because she thinks that Madeline is actually scared. After chasing down Madeline, Madeline becomes defeated, telling Madeline that she can leave her if she wants. But Madeline says she wants to finish the climb together with her. She understands that Madeline is scared, but she doesn't realize that she wants to do it as well. They combine forces, giving Madeline an extra jump. Together they soar through the mountain, passing quickly through areas which took Madeline a long time to get through before. Slowly, Madeline switched from being scared and pessimistic to being optimistic that they would be able to make it together. Eventually, after not so long, they make it to the top. At the top, they discuss how Madeline will lose her physical form after leaving the mountain, so she has to trust that Madeline will listen to Madeline within herself. This ending shows what one can do if you're able to turn your self-doubt into your own power. You can take all the energy holding you back and convert it to positive momentum and become unstoppable. Madeline was able to figure out herself by confronting her problems head-on, and it became one of the greatest things to happen to her. Once off the summit, Madeline, Theo, and Oshiro meet together with the old lady at her house to have pie. At the end, they all feel better off than before. They were able to meet new people and discover something about themselves. The beauty of Celeste Mountain is that its manifestation of your problems forces you to face them and deal with them. Celeste Mountain obviously doesn't exist in real life, but us doing things outside of our comfort zone or pushing ourselves to do something can really help us sort through our inner problems. Celeste really touches so well on the different aspects of accomplishing something difficult. The beginning optimism, the battling self-doubt, losing your progress, feeling hopeless, and pushing through it. And the dialogue and music perfectly convey these feelings, which makes the message hit even harder. Another aspect of perseverance Celeste subtly hints at is longevity, which is what I talked about at the beginning of the video. The old lady lives there all the time, and as she says, it keeps her sharp. She understands that she can't be happy just achieving one thing and stopping, which is why she's so happy all the time. Even though Madeline has climbed this mountain, she knows she's going to have to keep working on herself for the rest of her life. It's a very healthy mindset to think that succeeding is continuing to work on ourselves and always starting a new journey instead of quitting at the destination. Many times we see people who have worked on something their whole life, and if they aren't rich from it, we often write it off as unsuccessful. I remember in high school, I listened to a musician as a speaker, and since she wasn't a well-known one, I sort of had the thought that she wasn't super successful. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that in reality, she had made it further in life than most people just because of how much she had to endure and persevere to do what she loves. This person made the active decision to not have a love life, to not own pets, to live off of little money, just to live her passion. This person has succeeded more than many people we see as successful because she was content doing what she loves. But many famous and rich people are not happy with their position in life. Her priorities are certainly different from mine, but her longevity and dedication makes me think she's one of the most successful people I've ever met. At the end of the day, the majority of people aren't happy sitting around all day and doing nothing. When we picture success, we picture a destination, thinking that getting to that destination will make us happier. But when we get to that destination, we aren't satisfied. We're or at least not forever. Despite this realization, it can still be really difficult to get ourselves going. A lack of motivation can make us feel confused because there might be nothing standing in our way, but then our brains tell us no. At times we feel like there are no obstacles in our way, but therefore have no obstacles to help us climb that mountain and keep us on our way. Because sometimes persevering through nothing is really hard, and the self-doubt can stop us in our tracks. But if we're able to look within ourselves and make whatever is pushing us back push us forward, we can be more powerful than ever before, just like what Madeline did. I know I'm saying all these things like I've unlocked life's secrets, but that's not true at all. I can't just play Celeste and have all my questions answered and problems solved. I have to take what I learned from in the game and apply it to my life. It's still going to be a long process and there are going to be many mountains to climb in the future, but this game gives me confidence that it's possible. And it gives me confidence that it's possible for anyone watching this video who feels like their thoughts and various obstacles are impossible to overcome. You can do it. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you feel better after watching this video in some way, and I'll see you next time. Bye!